All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Elite 100. It's great to see everybody here. I'm excited for today. A lot of energy coming into today. And why don't we get some wins going? Then I get a little bit of housekeeping, some good stuff coming up. Who's got some wins that they would love to share to get the energy going? What? Mr. Len?
Yeah, Brian, my win is that you were strong enough to do the Zoom call for the veterans. And I work very closely with a group in Northeastern PA called Heroes Hearthstone.
Mm.
And what I know about that is I have two friends that are very interested in taking care of mankind, the vets, you and Eric Pym. So glad you're getting together. That is such a big win for me because we helped those folks on our bench project trail,
Mm.
but now we get to help them through the matrix also. One is very powerful for the journaling on our project, but this is super powerful for mindset. And so thank you for doing that. And thank you for getting together with Eric Pym.
Yeah, no, I
Perfect.
received that. And when we built the Mindset Masters, it was we built it for like an entrepreneurs group, no one left behind, something for that everybody could get into. It's like $1 a day. So when I started thinking about the veterans group and what they're going after, and they're looking for purpose, they're looking for to get back into civilization, I was like, Mindset Masters would be a great fit for them. So it seems like a natural fit. So guys, I have this vision of like tens of thousands of people in Mindset Masters. I don't know how it's going to happen, but that's I think that community is so underserved. You usually got to be pay a couple of grand a month to get any kind of real mentorship, and I think what we're doing there is really awesome. So at some point maybe I'll have the mastermind with you guys on how do we grow that, because it's I think once we get a lot of eyeballs on it, it'll be very well received. So who else has a win they want to share? Let's get this energy going. Eric?
Yeah, I had a great meeting with Jeff and Mike last week in
Oh,
person.
yeah, yeah.
It was great. It's great to connect with people outside of the Zoom calls, especially for good part of the group is here in Massachusetts, and it's just kind of it's good to have that belly to belly meeting. It was cool, man. It was good meeting you, Jeff.
Yeah, for sure. That was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna chat a little bit about that here in a minute too. Mr. Newsome, since you're in the hot seat, would you kindly guide us through a magical rendition of the Mastermind principles if I pull it
Yes,
up?
sir. Yes, sir. Let's do
Thank you,
this. Mastermind principles. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this blessed day and for allowing us to come together in a spirit of harmony to mastermind for the benefit of all of our mastermind members, our families, and for the good of mankind. We ask that you bless this mastermind group today and every day forward. We release ourselves to the mastermind because we are strong when we have others to help us. We believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond our own. We understand that we will more easily create positive results in our lives when we open to looking at ourselves, our challenges, and our opportunities from another's point of view. We decide to release our desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and we are open to accepting new possibilities. We forgive ourselves for mistakes we have made. We also forgive others who have wronged us in the past so we can move into the future with a clean slate. We ask God and our mastermind family to hear what we really want, our goals, our dreams, and our desires. And we hear our mastermind partners supporting us in our fulfillment. We accept. We know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to our every need. We are grateful knowing this is so. Dedication and covenant. We now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply us with an abundance of all things necessary to live success-filled and happy life. We dedicate ourselves to be of maximum service to the world and our fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow and to remain an open channel of God's will. We go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy.
Amazing. Thank you, brother. Thank you. A
Sure.
little bit of housekeeping. We're going to open the doors for thinking and results on February 12th. A lot of you have family members, friends. Some of you have done those for years and years, and people from the outside are kind of watching, like, what are you studying? What are you doing? What's changing? So we figured on February 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have you guys, if you want to, invite family members, friends, coworkers, colleagues to an actual lesson 1 facilitation. Sometimes explaining thinking results is challenging. So it's like, we figured we might just invite them to a live session so they can do a goal setting workshop. And we'll get details out for that, but I just wanted to kind of tease that. The study material that we're studying right now is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And again, I have this on my nightstand, and you know, I read a little bit every night, a little bit every morning. And I think, do we have any Joe Dispenza fans here? Anybody? Yeah, okay. A lot of you probably, yeah. So it's another way to look at it. You know, if you study like Esther Hicks, it's very ethereal, very spiritual. Judge Thomas Troward gets into theology. Joe Dispenza really comes from the quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and into spirit as well. And for me, it's just amazing to look at all this stuff through different lenses, and then we form our own paradigm about it. So that's the reading we're doing right now. So Jeff and a group of people have been working, and I'll have Jeff speak a little bit about this.
Hey, Brian, can I share something real quick? Just
Absolutely.
piggybacking on what you just said, Brian, just
Yeah,
seeing
sure.
through different lenses.
Mhm.
I couldn't help but with the reading this morning of the Mastermind Principles, I see it through a different lens just this morning, because a win for me this week is I was able to spend a couple of days with Tim Tebow. I'm in a group with him where we're building technology to help end human trafficking. And I love that all of us are just going for our goals. We're going for the best for ourselves and the best for others, and to just serve and just, you know, make the world a more positive place. But even just seeing this through a different lens this morning, we spent some time together this week just really diving into the deepest darkness that's in the world, with not only human trafficking, but human sacrifice. And just Tim literally just showed us videos of the most heinous things. It took me aback. I mean, not to get too graphic here, but it was just, I mean, humans in different pieces and boxes as far as the eye could see. I mean, it was awful, awful things. And so I just wanted to share that, you know, and y'all know me, like, I'm all about positivity. I'm all about thinking about the best and looking for the best and making the best happen, you know. But man, I've been so inspired by Tim Tebow and how he goes after the MVPs, the most vulnerable people. And there is just darkness in this world. There is real evil in this world. And man, there's so much light that needs to be shown in this world. And so that's what I saw, like, just reading this morning. It's like, man, you know, there's a real darkness to attack with light. So for what it's worth, you know, just whatever good you're putting out, whatever you're doing to shine light, it really, really matters, because there's some darkness, and one particle of light dispels millions of particles of darkness. So whatever you're doing to make the world a more positive place and a better place for yourself and for others, it all matters. Just want to share that.
Honestly, I think that's the underlying, because there's a couple of things that make this group different from any other group that I've ever encountered. You know, we're all faith-based. We're all tapping into God and spirit. We're all studying mindset. We continue to study, but philanthropy is definitely at the heartstone of the Elite 100. And I think it would be good for you to connect Tim Tebow with Jerremy Locke. Like, they should know each other. They should be best friends, man, because Jeremy's doing the work. Their team's doing the work. And Tim Tebow has the ability to raise significant funds with his brand. And you want to talk about the people on the front lines. And I don't know how much you know about what Jerremy Locke's doing with their recovery, but you saw them obviously in Chicago making that connection.
Yeah. I just made a few connections for Tim, and yeah, I'm happy to have a conversation.
That would be the connection of all connections. And like I said, you're connecting the two opposite ends of the deal. You know, somebody that wants to do a lot, that has an international global brand, you know, and then somebody that's on the front lines, you know, also repurposing and helping soldiers that have been out there. So that'd be a good connection.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground, baby, for sure.
Thank you, Trey.
Yeah, thanks for that, Trey. Thanks for bringing that in. And that is, I think that's the underlying thing with everybody here is to you know, expand what you're doing and then give back. So it's kind of a common ground. Jeff, do you want to talk a little bit about, this kind of syndicate that's forming, and then Vrolio? We're going to do, and we're just a couple of minutes. We're going to do a satellite this Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. For anybody that's interested, this is a big real estate play. It's multi-pronged. So those of you that are into syndicates, real estate investing, and there's some really cool tech. But Jeff, if you want to just kind of speak to Vrolio a little bit, and then we'll send out the invite for this Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Brian. And appreciate you giving them time to go through this. I know that they want to the two founders want to join the Elite 100, but they're gonna Erica and Jeremy, and they're amazing, elite at what they do. So whenever they join, that'll be a tremendous addition to the group. I mean, honestly, they have exceptional software in their platform. If anyone has used AirDNA and is interested in short-term rentals, their platform's just better in many ways, which they will articulate significantly better than I will. So I won't even begin to do that. But it's a great platform, and they're killers. It was an introduction from Jared Randolph, who some of you or most of you guys know. He's amazing himself. I think the ideas that Brian and I had were, for anyone who's interested in real estate, we've talked about a syndicate group with Elite 100. Leveraging this data would be such a cheat code for anyone who likes it and thinks it is. And so Brian and I, they've also raised 1.3 million. They're raising another 800,000, I believe, but they'll go through that. So if anyone's interested in also participating in this, I don't know if it's the next round or part of the family to friendly round, so they'll have more information on that. But I'm probably going to do it. I know some of you have mentioned you want to, but they want to. Last thing is they want to build out midterm rental and long-term rental data as well as short-term rentals, which would catapult this over AirDNA and any competitors. And AirDNA had a decent exit to a private equity firm, so. Yeah, I mean that's really it. They're just great. They're super smart.
Yeah, the software blew me away. It's machine learning, AI, database learning, and targeting potential real estate properties for short-term, medium, and they're doing long-term eventually too. So when you have a syndication that can go all over the country and use real-time data to be like, oh, this is, this at this price is, an amazing opportunity. It cash flows all the things. It's just, if you're interested, come to Thursday, because I'm going to butcher it by speaking about it. It's just amazing technology. And if we
let me just add for the rest of the group, who I think's been on a lot of the TIR calls. Jeremy's wife is already a TIR member. So she's in the content and everything. And I know these folks as well. And so they're good people and they're doing good things.
So we'll get a link out to you guys. I think it'll be really good. It's a two-part play. We've been looking to get a syndicate going together in the Elite, and then this would be software to like literally heat map all over the country where the prime deals are. When you said cheat codes, that's a good way to put it. Awesome. Well, we are very excited to have Jerremy sitting in the hot seat here. And again, the hot seats, guys, I think are one of the most important things we can do for each other, because you're literally all here to serve. We're here to serve Jerremy and listen to his dreams and his goals and where he's at, and open up our hearts. So Jerremy, you've seen these before. I'm curious as to what you're going to talk about, because I know what you told me your C-type goal is. What is your C-type goal? And we'll give you the floor here to just tell everybody a little bit about you, and what can we do for you? How can we serve?
Thank you. This is, I know why they call it the hot seat. I told Brian, I got up at 4 this morning, guys, pumped and slightly panicked, because I do not ask for help well, like most of the alpha males in this room. So it is, it's going to be a great experience. I'm here today. The good news, not to necessarily directly ask for help, but probably to indirectly ask for help. And I will share with you my overall vision and kind of my goal. And what I would like to do is kind of create a quick framework for what I specialize in. My area of expertise is liquid market assets and trading. I have studied money and how it moves for the last 15 years, approximately 7 hours a day, every single day. So all things money, from insurance to real estate to REITs to taxes to stocks to options, forex, commodities, crypto. It's my jam. I've loved it ever since I was a little kid. For those of you who don't know my story, 40 seconds, movie Forrest Gump changed my life. In 1995, I heard Forrest Gump say that Lieutenant Dan invested into a fruit company and they no longer had to worry about money ever again. And when I heard that, I was dirt poor, living in the boondocks of Georgia, middle of absolute nowhere. I'd never heard anyone say that they didn't have to worry about money. So that was a paradigm shift. I asked my dad, what's investing? What's the fruit company? He told me about Apple computers. He told me how the stock market works. I begged him to buy shares. And obviously he gave the the excuse that most dads are going to give their 6-year-old son who are dirt poor. Right? We don't have money. That's for rich people. So I begged him and begged him and begged him. Eventually he caved and said, listen, if you bring me some money, I'll match it dollar for dollar. So I went and picked blackberries, sold them door to door for $1 a bag, like the fruit. And I made $1,500 in the summer of 1995 selling blackberries. True to his word, my dad borrowed $1,500 from my uncle, and we bought $3,000 worth of Apple stock at the absolute bottom in 1995. And so I don't have to worry about money anymore, which is really cool. Now, I sold those shares a long time ago. And so I did worry about money from 2000 to 2017. So there was 17 years of learning and growth. And I didn't know much about Bob Proctor, and I learned about self-development from Tony Robbins in 2012 and all kinds of things. And it was a beautiful journey. But where I am now is I feel in a beautiful and very, very privileged place because I hold information that very, very few people in the world have and can articulate it in the way that I can. My ultimate specialty is taking complex things and making it simple. That's my number one gift. I personally believe that education should be free and experiences should cost money. So in 2014, I launched a company called Real Life Trading, and I'll share my screen with everyone here. And in 2014, at the time of launching, I also received 8 lawsuits from competitive companies because I was giving away trade secrets for free and I was crippling their business. And that was the goal of launching the company, was to cripple their business. So they weren't incorrect, but they were incorrect about it wasn't trade secrets, right? This isn't stuff that no one knows. This is just things that are not overly publicized very well. And so I've had free content forever. And I will always have free content as long as this website exists and as long as I retain ownership, because I feel like education to some degree should be totally free and experiences should cost money. And I also know that if you have access to the internet, you have access to income. And all of this is built on a pillar. My whole company is built on a pillar of giving, of philanthropic expertise, and really being able to help individuals who need this with this information. Because I have a goal of taking the top 1% of the world and changing it into the top 2%. So that way all newspaper headlines and all articles that are bashing the top 1% have to now change their headline and say the top 2% have all the wealth. When that happens, I will celebrate and go run a long distance as a good celebration of that. However, I also realize that there's a humongous population that have very little access to education and that have access to good education that's not sleazy, that's not slimy, that's just really impactful. And so that's why I have over 180 hours. You can get your doctorate degree in all things stocks for free. Now, if you want to pay for other additional things that are useful, that are cool tips and tricks that you don't need, that you want, that are experiential and or just shorten your learning curve because you have capital, it's a business, it's not a nonprofit. And so we do have people that can pay for certain services and for certain products that are also not overly priced. So they're all pretty affordable, all less than $500. So this company's done extremely well as far as online sales and just e-commerce brand. I've built a community of raving fans all over the world. I can go to any country, almost any city, more or less, and have a couple people there who will take me to dinner and hang out and have a coffee and go on a nice run with and just talk markets and investing and trading. So that's the component of real life trading, and that's what it is to the bigger picture. The mission of the company is to enrich lives. And now that takes me to the second part. The second part of real life trading, from the foundation, Real Life Foundation, is structured to do everything that Trey just mentioned, and everything that a lot of people in their hearts want to see and hear. Is I help people create more so that they can give more. And I also donate and give directly to nonprofits and to charities and to organizations through my nonprofit and through my foundation. But more importantly, I want to help, and I do help, specifically veterans all across the world learn this for free as scholarships so that they can make more money and they can be on the front line to stop evil. And so I'm also on the board of Arrow Recovery, as most of you know. I support Arrow Recovery. I'm one of their main financiers, and I am business partners with both Jerremy Locke, who's one of my besties, and his wife, Brittany Turner. And so I help most of the veterans, if not all the veterans that go through this particular program, learn how finances work, how investing works, how the stock market works, so they can perpetually create income, so that they can save more lives, so they can be on the front line more, so that we can stop evil. I financed millions of dollars for this cause, and I'm very, very aware of the impact. And I know Jerremy and his team and my team are extremely well versed at this. They're the best in the world. They are the elite of the elite, right? The greatest fighting force in the world, the United States Armed Forces, both men and women. They are incredible. And their mission pillars are heal the heroes, disaster response, and obviously anti-human trafficking. And so I work specifically very, very closely with this piece, this component, because if you heal both men and women, what do all people want? More money, more time, more magic. And money can help with both of those, right? Don't let everyone tell you that money can't buy happiness. They haven't been broke enough. So, or they don't know where to shop. One of those two. Well, might not buy like happiness forever, but it can definitely buy happiness for a short period of time. So that being said, I love focusing on that. And that's a big, big component of real life trading, which brings me to what Brittany and I have been working on. And for the last 2 years, I created this organization, this company on the island, which is Ariel Buck Island. I would highly encourage all of you to go there if you ever want your life changed at one point or another. And I'm trying to figure out how to draw. I don't know where my drawing tab is. It's okay. So we're right here where it says 90 Days to Trade Masterclass. This is a very, very interesting program that's extremely rare and isn't widely circulated. And this is one of the problems that I'm a stone into my big third tier that I would like to discuss with everyone here. This particular product is I take people who know generally nothing, let's say 0 to hero, not knowing anything about trading, day trading, the stock market, how markets work, how money works, how financing works. They essentially know nothing. And I take them through the battlegrounds of the market and then get them prepared to trade. And towards the end, I give them a $100,000 funded account assessment. And what they do in that account is they have to take a 10% profit from that account. So they grow $100,000 and they take that $100,000 and they grow it 10% into $110,000. Once they do that, the account becomes real. And they have a real 100,000 US dollar account to trade with, where we split the profits. You ready for this? 90-10. 90% to me, obviously. I'm kidding. 90% to them, 10% to me. So you might be wondering, how do I make money? I trade really well. That's how I make money. I'm a really good trader. I'm one of the best in the world. So they have a 90% profit split. Find that else in the world. Good luck. And here's the best part. Right now, we have about $350 million going through this particular funded account program. What's really fascinating about this number for me is the scale, because this is very scalable. And here is the step one that I need the most help with. I need access to either schools, universities, colleges, or very, very high levels of government where I can get a check written so that I can take this to schools, colleges, universities, anywhere in the world, and or universities. Imagine, Trey, for a moment, we take this to the president of Honduras and we go, President of Honduras, take your education budget, give me $1 million. For $1 million, I will, and we can do it through the foundation, doesn't matter. I will /can send 100,000 of your citizens through this program. And with access to internet, I can teach them how to interact with the US markets. And I can give them they probably don't want 100,000 US dollars. That might be a little too expansive for some of those individuals potentially, but I can do 10,000, 50,000, 20,000. I can do whatever number they want. So I could give each individual access to 50 to 10,000 actual US dollars. And out of that 100,000 citizens that go through this from Honduras, 20,000 get funded. And they have a real 20,000 US dollar account to trade with. Imagine what type of impact that makes on poverty.
Mm.
They now have access to resources. They no longer have to go down a road of crime because they can use their fingers, their phones, their iPads, and their internet connection to create $50 extra per week. Now, it is a business model, but it's a sustainable business model. And I know that there's a lot of questions already that some of your brains have in the back end about how I'm doing all of this, but it's already been done. It's been happening since April 2021. So we're coming up on 3 years. And I don't foresee, and I can't come up with a subconscious reason as to why I haven't put this into a college, high school yet. Second biggest need is I work with veterans every day, hundreds of them. And if I could get this certified or verified for the GI Bill, which I have been trying to figure out the requirements to get that certified through the GI Bill for a decade, and I have failed. So that's one of my failures in life. I haven't done that yet. But when I do, and the veterans can use their GI Bill to go through this program, their life will change. Very, very quick story. So Jerremy Locke is extremely familiar with a gentleman named Harold Cox. Harold Cox spoke at the Aero Recovery Gala that Brian and his girl Laura were at. And Harold stood up there and told his story of how his number one affliction and addiction after being a specially trained military, specialist, his number one affliction is suicide. And like you and I might crave water, he craves ending his life. And it's an itch that he has to continuously not scratch. And as he's standing here telling hundreds of people this, and we're all just freaking crying, he says the only time he thinks of not killing himself is when he's day trading. And Harold took a couple of $100,000 assessment accounts, made them real capital, and he's trading a couple 100,000 real US dollars when 8 months ago, he had zero knowledge. Zero. He knew nothing. And when I heard that, my life had changed again. And I said, I have to do this even harder. I haven't been doing it hard enough. And so randomly enough, all right, me and Brian hop on the phone and I'm like, let's go, dude. I'm in for elite. This is all of our missions. This is what's going to happen. Why am I going to such detail? The last 20 seconds. All of this is hopefully stepstoning into my ultimate goal in life and mission. And really, the reason I was created, I think it's less mission. I think it's less goal. It financially makes no sense. Stress makes no sense. It doesn't make any actual sense overall, other than every time I pray, every time I meditate, every time I ask myself, every time I am put into a position where for my whole life, I've been interviewed or thought of, or someone said, what's the reason that you were born? What's the reason you were created? Why are you put on this earth? Why do you exist? I've had no other ultimate answer than to serve in the highest, best capacity of anyone that could ever serve, which would be the president of the United States of America. And I believe if a president comes into the White House who actually focuses 100% of his attention, time, and effort on education reform, and actually is after literally and finally changing the broken education system of the United States and protecting every one of our single kids where a school shooting never happens again. That's my whole drive in life, and it has been since I was 6. We actually put a footprint in the world where it's a good place. And then we have veterans and we have someone who is aware of the atrocities that are happening in the US from a child anti-human trafficking standpoint. And we can really start putting measures and activities and things in place. And we can really just become, as Trey said, a force for good, a beacon of light, a beacon of hope. And so that's my big C-type goal, as Brian mentioned it. So that's kind of like the overall base. And so I think to help me get to the third final pillar, which is that presidential piece, the stepping stones that I need in life are bigger stages, bigger crowds, more influence, more impact, and bigger connections where I can just start to really continually help more people. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people over the last 10 years, which is an amazing number, but it's not millions. And there are people who are doing millions, the Tony Robbins, the Jesse Itzlers, the Joe Dispenzas. And I know in my heart of hearts, I am that quality of man, that quality of leader, that quality of speaker. I have that charisma, that faith, that drive, and that focus. I know I can do it. I know this is what I was designed and what I was created, and I'm ready. I've been telling the universe that I'm ready for the last year and a half, and and God was like, "You sure?" Have you ever heard the phrase, "God will never give you anything you can't handle"? That refers to the good shit as well. So if you're not ready for $100 million because you're going to become a cocaine addict and you're going to go back into your porn addiction and you're not going to be able to handle $100 million, well, that's why you don't have it. So when I said that, I clearly heard, "You sure?" And I was like, "I'm sure." And I've had 5 people that were very close to me exit my life, and not the greatest of ways, because they had to. During a prayer the other day, I asked God, "Why are you taking me into such like deep, troublesome, arduous waters? Bro, I'm tired of swimming." He's like, "It's because your enemies can't swim, dude. Keep going." Roger that. So that's where I'm at in life. Chris has a question. Just government schools? No, anyone. I'm ready. Any schools, public schools, private schools, charter schools. This is ready to go. I have more people that would teach this class. I got hundreds of instructors ready to go.
What about just financial literacy type people? Like, yes,
Sure. Yeah, that's kind of like my ideal current avatar for people who sign up for my class, which essentially is the Chris's and the Jeff Rubens of the world, right? The Scotts, the Eric, the Jeff, like the people that are like, "Yeah, I got money, I want more. It's amazing." Like those are the people that sign up currently. And I have the highest customer service rating of any stock market education company on planet Earth. That's just a fact.
Okay,
because
so while I got you, Tolly is affiliated with a group called Legacy, and they bought essentially the a defunct company that owns some intellectual property associated with Robert Kiyosaki and others. And so if you want, that could be a resource. The guy that's running it now is a very nice guy. While I just jumped in on this. Combined Arms, does that mean anything to you? Is that a very large organization that they're devoted just to helping veterans? Because my friend was a president, and it's like some national organization, and all he does is veteran stuff.
I haven't heard them specifically, and there's a lot of great causes for vets out there, which makes me extremely happy. And I can always have more vet connections, but I really just need to figure out how to get this my classes GI certified.
Well, that's what I was hoping he could help with, because through what they do. So maybe I'll make an introduction, if that sounds good to you on that.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Ollie,
Hi, Jeremy.
Hey.
First of all, that was, a very powerful presentation, and I love what you're doing, and I love what you're about, and the program sounds, phenomenal. And I'm definitely happy to tap into my resources. As Chris mentioned, I'm one of the faculty members and an investor in Legacy Live Education, which is headed up by the Contis and Andrew McDonald. And they took over Rich Dad, Poor Dad education, from Robert Kiyosaki. So now we are pretty much distributing it to the masses. We're still in like the funding, raising, money stage, but I think an intro to Jerry Conti would be great, because we essentially are positioning the Legacy Live education to everybody out there who, maybe has or hasn't gotten their GED, that wants to finish, their schooling and their credits, and, get, just higher education, and really, get out there and to make it easier and more cost effective for them. So that's really what we're about. So I will connect you with Jerry, because I feel like that could be a great synergy, and have you bring, your program and your curriculum, to Legacy.
Sweet. That'd be super awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
the
you.
Conti's, they've been working on this for a while, and when they basically have the library of Robert Kiyosaki, the data from it. They have
Yeah.
like hundreds of millions of humans and data, like decades of data is what they bought. And they're putting together this consortium of different professionals in different verticals. So somebody comes into Legacy Live, like Talia's piece is real estate education. I don't think they don't have a financial guy yet.
No, most of it is most of it is like fix and flips and, vacation
Yeah.
homes and
Which
and
I
really-
love. Yeah. Those are
So-
awesome.
yeah, yeah. But this, your program is unique, and I think it would be a great fit. So definitely, we'll bring you on.
Well, thank
That's a
you.
good
Yeah, I'm sure you all have it. I know because I'm on the WhatsApp. I'll throw my cell phone number too, just in case anybody wants to really quick just connect me. WhatsApp texts are awesome. Email is my least favorite communication method of all
Okay.
time.
I'll do a group text. Yeah, you
the
got
group
it.
text would be stunning. Thank you.
Sure.
So Jeremy, I'm surprised with Mr. Locke that you guys haven't been able, like, if you guys can't crack the government code.
I
seems like
know.
He's got to know the right people or
I
somebody.
know. It's been a door I have just never opened. I've tried, man. I haven't tried everything. I haven't, because it would have worked if I had.
Right.
I've tried
yeah.
a lot. I've definitely tried a lot. And I know, man, it's kind of wild. It is really wild. Locke has given me a lot of loopholes with, forget the exact term right now, but there's an education resource that once veterans leave, like they can work for a company as a volunteer and get paid by the government or by the army or military, and they work for you for free. So you have free work. They're getting paid to kind of like come back into civilization. And we tried that a couple of times. It just didn't work. Stunning, because the people that do that don't necessarily know how to help specifically this type of company.
Yeah.
They have different
What
skills.
about what are some of maybe the place to start is some of the programs that they are allowed to take. Like they're probably allowed to go take like trades, right? Like electrician, plumber.
Yep.
So they're probably allowed to do stuff like that. I'm wondering if you could either bundle onto something like if somebody did an IT course or an e-commerce course. I wonder if you could bundle on to somebody that's already approved.
And just give it to them anyway. Just say, listen, this is
just part of a curriculum that somebody's already
Sure.
approved with. Maybe that's an angle. You can come in like a Trojan horse,
Okay, I'm down for that. If anyone can find that, I'll reach out to the people. I will. That's a great idea. Find one who's already approved and just add it to it.
Because there's all kind of, I'm sure you could probably do like an e-commerce course. That's or
Maybe.
trying to think of something like IT or technical. I wouldn't do plumbing, but some field that's already approved that they can go into where there's an entity like a landmark or something, or
Okay.
something that somebody that sees what you're doing is willing to bundle up. And
Yeah.
it just, you know what I mean? It just becomes a part of something that's already approved.
Heck yeah. Scott, what you got for me, big dog?
Do you have like a roadmap of how you're laying this out? So if like we get in front of somebody for you and present it, they have like a curriculum to follow or something like that to present?
Yeah, curriculum,
This is-
PDF, roadmap, timeline, all the good stuff.
My wife's godmother's husband, whatever, he's a very high ranking army person. He helped build budgets for like the COVID relief plans and all that stuff. So
Oh, cool.
I can present it to him. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, but I don't know I don't know how high up he goes.
Yeah. We could always ask him. But yeah, that's a great
happy to
resource.
talk to him.
Yeah, if we could say, hey, what would you need? Ask him like, hey, what would you need? Because and this is going to sound crazy, guys. I've even presented this to the president of the Olympics. I was like,
wow.
if someone finishes bronze, silver, or gold, give it to them for free. And they're like, ah. And I actually know Sharon Lechner relatively well, and she's the direct coach for Brittany Turner. And so we've had numerous sit downs and chats. And she's like, listen, the force isn't people, it's the enemy. So it's like the harder you push, you're going to get some pushback because there's just a lot of darkness because they want people to be kept in the dark. So I'm not necessarily saying that that's the resistance that is there, but with enough light people, we're going to push through it. I'm not scared about that at all. Kev, what you got for me, big guy?
What's up, Jeremy? Man, awesome stuff. I love the mission that you're on right now. It's inspiring.
Thanks, man.
And to be president, I mean, we need some better talent in there. So,
Yes.
something that I mean, I truly believe that education is one of our major pitfalls here in this, pretty much in the world. I mean, it's based off a legacy system to memorize stuff, and it's whoever can memorize the best, gets to the best colleges. So to reform that would be incredible. Something that comes to mind that I've been using more recently is like through the business that I run, a mission that I have is to raise collective consciousness. And everybody's at a different level. So the one thing that popped in my mind was like, man, if you gave another 1% millions of dollars, would that actually be a good thing or a bad thing? In the hands of the right people, we're going to make that pivotal shift. In the hands of somebody who's just like, cool, I made a bunch of money, like, is that really going to move the needle, or is it just going to distribute more wealth to individuals? So keeping that in mind, to not just open this up to everybody, but to have some qualifiers in there to attract, truly the right people. So I put that out there as a, having some sort of filters on like, what is their why? What's their inspiration? Why should they deserve to be in this program? Because it's such a blessing. Because those who have this power, they may just be an unconscious competent, and then they may just go on their way of just being run by their programming to continue to add to the bad that we have in the world. So that's something that I was thinking about. The government, I mean, I don't know if the government wants there to be another 1% added to the top, right? I don't think they enjoy people, breaking out of the matrix and realizing like, wait, what is this framework that we're in? So when you think about the government, they're like, no, I don't want to give this power. I don't want to redistribute power. That's not what we like to do. So I really liked where Brian was going on trying to find that creative angle around where maybe you rebrand it as something else. It's not like we're not doing trading. We're helping create educators and coaches, and we're bringing people into a pathway where they can use their incredible government systems and educational background to help with certain types of causes, but then package in the trading onto it. So like rebrand
I never thought about blending. Yeah,
like re-angle it into the box that the government wants to have, but then with your nuances of what you want it to be. So those are just some thoughts that popped in my mind.
Thank you. Yes, those are great thoughts. Thank you.
Cool.
So Jeremy, I had some more ideas here too, and I think Kevin's on a point there. It's we might be looking at the wrong vertical with public schools or public colleges or any of that stuff. I'm thinking about somebody like a Grant Cardone. Like there's a health guy that just teamed up with him, and he's populating different verticals using his 10X brand. And love him or hate him, he may or may not be the guy, but getting with somebody like a Grant Cardone that's already got Cardone University and bolting on a whole financial piece, like you're talking about getting global attention and recognition and sales like instantly.
There's this one company I was going to work with. It was called Thinking and Results. I think it was like TRR. It was like this, like the success. It was like a matrix of successful. Yeah, man, for sure. No, that's kind of been my parlay into it for a while. Is I infiltrate places of love and light, mastermind groups generally, and just love on everybody. And then we eventually I work with most of the people in there at some stage, and then just stay with friends forever. But you're correct, and so I do know that. And the big influencers, if let's call me a celebrity or influencers, like if you have like a Cardone being A-list, I'm probably like a C- list right now, and so I'm working my way up to the A's, and I would like to figure out how to quantum leap that. I've done a bunch of the Joe Dispenza, changing the boxes meditation, where I really am working on elevating to that level or to that stratosphere because I know it's achievable. People have done it. People live there. So I think I just need a few more tipping points, which will be some public speaking, some podcasts, and some appearances and some stages. And I think that tipping point will happen, or just regular introductions as well. Because what's cool is, man, again, with people that have money, kind of like some of you mentioned, if someone has money and they're a great person, I can help them make a lot of money very quickly because the stock market is the easiest thing known to mankind. It's so simple. It's second grade math over and over and over. And it's very, very easily accessible and it's extremely liquid. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think
I mean, that's how I got with Brittany
Oh,
Turner,
yeah?
Brian. Yeah. I was like, I helped her mom, sister, cousin, brother, and brother-in-law make a bunch of money in the markets. And she's like, all right, come to the island. Let's talk. So I was like, sweet. I did. It was life-changing.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm thinking, the reason why I thought of Grant specifically is I've seen him literally like bolt on verticals into his university. Does anybody have any connections that could lead to there? I'm trying to think of.
No, but Brian, you know what I was just thinking? I introduced you to Phil Ranta and his platform.
Yeah.
Jeremy, a buddy in LA, is the CEO of a really cool live shoppable commerce platform. And I don't know, I love your content. I've checked it out on YouTube and stuff, and on Instagram. But I'm wondering if live shoppable commerce might be another distribution channel for you. I'll make the introduction because I think it might be cool. And I introduced him to Brian. I think they're going to do some stuff with the Elite and
heck yeah,
Elite. And Matrix. Yeah, I'll make the introduction.
Thanks, Jeff. I can't wait to work with you too, bro. It's gonna be fun.
And Jeremy, you and I can sideline too. Maybe we could co-package some stuff with. I'm happy to do that.
Me and you are already doing that. Yeah, we already know that. That's happening March, April. I just haven't told you yet. It's already in the progress. Because I have a course. It's obviously totally free. It's called Real Life Trading Psychology, and it's a psychology course, right? It's just mindsets of markets. There's no charts. It's just a bunch of Merriam-Williamson quotes and Brene Brown and Oprah and Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn and Earl Nightingale, right? Bob Proctor, the GOATs. And so it's all mindset stuff. And so I'm going to have you recreate that with me. But that being stated, yes, of course, we can easily package it. All of it's available. All of it's doable. I'm the owner and CEO and co-founder, founder of the company. So I have all rights to do and put anything wherever people think it would be best placed. Awesome. Or I've created special curated content for other companies as well, where it has like their slides, their logos.
Gotcha.
I just go and teach it. And the challenge is they go to them and then they reach out to me because they don't have anyone in their company that it's not me. But I have white labeled stuff in the past and I just stopped doing it because they always go back to me.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, have you created like affiliate programs? Because I guess I'm trying to think about how you would impact big markets. And one is to be on stages, obviously podcasts, news articles, but then there's other people's networks. And if you get tied in with certain entrepreneurs, you're like, hey, let me just throw this education onto your platform. And
I would love that.
Yeah. So like on mine, I have this idea that through property management, we touch a lot of people's lives, like constant touch points with a lot of our residents. And then like, okay, talk to Brian, haven't gone down the rabbit hole on this one, but like, creating a mindset course that people can just jump into, or a financial education. Because I think some of the resistance is the normal system that's out there. If you go through the traditionals like structured government universities, they're going to have some potential resistance around that, maybe. But if you work with more forward-thinking entrepreneurs, different businesses who are constantly changing the world, then they can integrate some of your information and disperse it within their networks.
I'm totally down for that. I have a really good. I pay out about $50,000 a month right now in just affiliates, and it's because it's monthly, because I have a MRR model where people log in and watch me trade live, and then I have the back end stuff as well. And so long story short, it's really nice because some people are like, oh, sweet, I can get monthly recurring revenue from you forever. Like, yeah, if they sign up for, you know, the monthly model. 100%, man, totally down for that. Yeah. Love some affiliate stuff.
Awesome. What else we got? Anybody else have any ideas on either breaking into big networks or getting into different types of schools? I think about like charter schools, but that's like one here, one there, you know?
One intro I could potentially make, I hesitate to bring it up because I don't really know if it's a fit. I haven't thought through it enough, but one of our portfolio companies is formerly called Trade Up. The CEO is a guy named Eric, and what they basically do is income sharing agreements for trade schools. So they provide capital to people who want to go to trade school and can't afford it, and in exchange they get an agreement to share in that person's income once they've graduated and gotten a job. I don't really know how it's a fit. I just thinking about alternative education, schools, that type of thing. It just occurred to me. So Jerremy, if you think there's any kind of fit there based on the relationships that the CEO may have had to create in order to make this viable. I mean, it's a very regulated space, so I'm sure there's government contacts that he may have.
Yeah.
To make that intro.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Blake. I mean, because that's really it. It's like, hey, I know it's been done, right? Like Brian said, I know GI bills work. I just would like to know, outside of the traditional brick and mortar, or like you said, like the government contacts, like where is that pipeline to go? And I know this sounds funny, but we all collectively are an extremely smart group of people, and it's like we don't know that exact. Because Brian, think about it for you, right? Duh. If we can get the same exact model, it would work for the Matrix. It would work for Thinking Results. Like all the like that's.
So we have actually done, Eric Markarian's group and a couple of companies in Massachusetts. We did a continuing education for him and his company, and the state of Massachusetts reimbursed for it. They have a program state by state because it was employee based, and it's designed to grow employees, grow culture. You know, it's educational based. And that's a state by state thing. I just don't know. I don't know how you do that with the financial education, because this was designed, the whole crux of it was like, oh, this is going to help your company grow. And we demonstrated why, right?
Yeah.
And we did that with his company. We did it with Red Dog Roofing, and we did it with Lamakia. I just don't know how to translate that into individual financial literacy, because you're not really building a company, you're building an entrepreneur. So the state was interested in companies with 100 or less employees and growing.
And I had someone once, his name was David. He told me to get like a list of all the colleges that have an entrepreneurship program.
Yeah.
And just email that teacher and say, hey, can we do this? Or call them. And
that might not be a bad avenue.
Yeah.
There's colleges now that have entrepreneurship.
So yeah, and I just want to say thank you everyone for the time and for being a part of it. Just always keep me in mind if you ever have a stock market or a liquid market question. I don't give advice. I just tell people what I would do in these situations. And that's how I skirt around the issue of not having a license. I don't manage your money. I don't want your money. I want you to have your money. And at the same time, I can always tell you what I would have done, because I've already made all the mistakes that you want to make. If it I've already made them. That's the good news. I've already done it. So I can help avoid a lot of the pitfalls. And I'm just so excited to be a part of this group. And it's just been an honor. Thank you for the great suggestions. And I look forward to continue working with you guys the rest of the year.
No, absolutely, brother. It's great to have you tonight. It's exciting what you're doing. There's a lot of synergies, I think, with a lot of people here. So
heck yes.
Just the beginning. So
yes.
Awesome, everybody. Well, thank you for pouring into Jerremy. And again, these hot seats, I just really can't say enough about how important it is to come together and pour into each other. And now you guys, you know all about Jerremy, his background, where he's going, and the run for presidency. So love it. Have a blessed week, everybody. Be well. God bless.
Thank you, Jerremy.
Thanks, everyone.
See you, everybody.
Take care, bud.